is your role at the club and what does it entail?
Well, basically, I'm Roger Hyett, and I'm head of the academy recruitment. I've been here about 17 years. Before I was here, I'd done Cheltenham Town for 7 years. And when they started, the academy went into Youth Alliance League. It was under 17s as it was then. 6 boys from the Panthers were under 16s, and my lot come and joined us basically. Mike Davis asked me to get involved because he'd known me for years from local football, and he must have asked me 2 or 3 times to come across, and eventually I did because I wouldn't have had a team left basically. So I am. Steve Koch was here obviously when I first started, and I've seen a few managers come and go over the times.
Yeah.
When I started, I was working with the under-17s, coaching and managing with Alan Goff and Brian Forsbrook, and I think Bob Bloomer come after, then John Brough and Russell obviously, and so there's been a few changes.
Yeah, so you've been really with the club since they first formed
yes,
in 99,
yeah.
the first proper academy that the club had. So
yeah.
What was it like getting that off the ground? So I know Brian Forsbrook was influential, but you must have been there right at the start as well.
Brian was massive. It was hard work because he obviously brought a lot from Kidderminster because he had been there for a while. He brought a lot with him, and it was hard work to get it going and people to understand what it was all about basically, because people still think it is a little Cheltenham. They don't realise like it's a professional club when it was in the Football League. So it's hard trying to convince people, and when you're trying to get players in to convince them it's still a Football League club and you've still got to be a good player to play at Cheltenham Town.
How far out do you go, and how do you go about trying to find these young talents that hopefully Cheltenham can produce first team and maybe sell some of them on to bigger clubs?
Right, when I first started, I'd done the Interleague, which was the best players of all the local junior clubs. So I had good links there with all the local clubs, basically from Cheltenham Gloucester League. And I had good links in Gloucester and Gloucester Primaries, so I've got good links there. And I always had it for long years with Bob Owen, who does a great job there, like you know. So it's there. But over the years, I've been going for Hereford, Worcester, Bristol, Oxford, Worcester, so I've had a few from Worcester, so all around, but the remit is now basically try and get the best local younger ones from Gloucester and Cheltenham, and that's what the chairman and the directors, that's what we want to try and do basically.
Talk me through some of your little gems that you've unearthed over the years. Obviously
Dave Bird was the first one. We've had a good 10 11 years here, I think it was. Basically I'd seen him playing as a 15-year-old for Forest Rangers, and me and Alan Goff were doing the under-17s at the time, and he said we need some players, so I said I know a good one. He said what's his name? I said Dave Bird. He said I think I know his dad. So basically he said what's his number, so I gave him the number. Then I'd already rang his dad a couple of times and asked him to come across, and he was and ahhing. I think when Alan rang him up because he knew him, he basically come over because of that as well, like so.
Yeah, and Dave Bird made more appearances in the Football League for Cheltenham Town than anyone else, so how proud does that make you feel?
That's brilliant. I mean, it's a great kick when they get signed. If I bring them in and they get signed, it's good. When they get a scholarship, it's very, very good. And if they get a pro, it's just excellent. And if they have a career out of it, like David had, it's been just brilliant. It's icing on the cake, really.
Yeah, so Birdie's probably one of the top of the par, but tell me through some of the other names that you've brought to the club and gone on to do well.
There's probably a few, like Luke Buttery was here for a bit, and he was a very good player, and then he went to play for England universities. When he left here, he had a year here as a pro. I think he's unfortunate because he got his pro in the second year of his scholarship, basically. Mike Whittington was one who had a couple of years here. Jake Lee, and more recently James Bowen, Joe Hanks, Bobby Dale. So right on loan at the moment, like hoping to play a bit of men's football and hopefully try and work their way back in.
Yeah, and they're mostly your players that you brought to the club.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't bring Zach in or Harry, like they're in the system already, but I knew about Zach from Gloucester Primary, so I had a good link there, but he'd already come in through somebody else. But I mean, like the group coming through now are doing, I think the under-18s this group are very good at the moment, I think, to be honest with you. It's a very good group.
Yeah, so Jamie Victor's got them near the top of the league. They're through to the second round Barnet tonight in the FA Youth Cup. We're just about to watch that one. And there are some really exciting young players, not least the latest Thomas player. I mean, Kieran Thomas was very close to getting a professional deal at Cheltenham, and Luke Thomas is going the right way about it, and also, obviously, as we know, attracting interest from bigger clubs. So tell me about the Thomas family.
Well, basically, I saw them at a 6-a-side over in Mitcheldean, and Luke was 8 at the time. Kieran was an under 12, and they had another brother, Liam, as well. He was a middle-aged one, and obviously there was a couple of clubs chasing them, and so I had to try and convince them to come here, telling them that it was their best for their development, which I think it was, in all honesty, at the time. And they've come over, and I say Kieran done very well. As an under 12, he was, as a central midfield, he was phenomenal. Everything what in a central midfield he could do, then obviously, like you said, he just missed out on a pro contract, but he's playing a decent standard now, Cinderford captain there. And Luke obviously was technically very good, very confident, bright lad, and he's just improved, and he's got stronger now.
So nobody knows what's going to happen with Luke, but if a massive club like Southampton do sign him, Do you think that's a good move for him, because they have got a great reputation for kicking on with young players?
They have, like, you know, but it all depends what the gaffer wants to do. If the gaffer wants to keep him, he wants to stay. It all depends. It can go both ways, and I think, you know, whichever way it goes, he makes the right decision. But it goes for him. Like, you know, Southampton are a very good club, and they are good for bringing players through, nurturing young players through, and their academy is very strong. But if the gaffer likes him and he wants to stay, you know, it all depends what they do, basically.